Hi, good morning. This is GS Kumar from the city of Bangalore, job hunt trainer, LinkedIn marketing consultant and trainer, ex recruiter. So, this is August 2nd, Saturday, 11 a.m. We are going live on job hunt Q&A session because there are a lot of layoffs, job cuts, career break, not getting interview calls. So we thought like we'll just plan some Q&A session with our audience so that a lot of questions can be answered. So if you are live now, you can post your location right now so that we understand whether you are live. So a couple of people have taken the Google form which we have shared earlier, and they have posted their questions um, in the Google form. So we will be taking that one by one. But still, if you are live and if you have any questions to ask on the job hunt front, you can post those questions here. So we will take up one by one on the job related, interview related, resume related, LinkedIn related questions, career break, international questions. I mean, international job opportunities, where you are getting stuck, or do I have to move to a career pivot, or do I need a certification to upskill? Anything related to 360-degree of your job hunt, career related questions, you can post your questions here. So, as much as I can, I'll start answering here so that it helps you in the entire process. So, my background is into talent acquisition in the past, about 15 years experience in both executive search firms and corporates like Wipro, Manipal, Upgrade in the talent acquisition space. So, with that experience, um, last 9 years I'm into job hunt coaching, LinkedIn training, especially for the mid-career and leadership profiles, where we develop, rebrand the resume, reposition themselves for the leadership and mid-career roles to do a market fit for those kind of openings, and we develop interviews from the non-advertised market wherein we optimize their Naukri and LinkedIn with about 50 keywords. So that's how we generated about 9,000 candidates for their job hunt process. We helped about 9,000 job seekers in getting interviews. So that's a process. So recently we've started this LinkedIn live sessions, combining individual sessions plus HR roundtable to address most of the issues which is happening in and around the job market. So if you want to participate as a speaker or participate in audience, you can post your comment here. So or DM me in the LinkedIn so that we'll take up and review, validate, and then see whether we can work together. So that's the idea. So in the comment section, you can post your questions one by one, or I'll take one by one questions if you're online. So whoever is online right now, they can post your questions. So we will wait for another 2 3 minutes so that we'll take the questions one by one. Yes, hi Mangala. So if you have any questions, you can post. Otherwise, I'll go with the questions which is filled by the job seekers in the Google form. So later I'll share that Google form as well. Maybe I'll share right away itself so that we'll get that. Yes, hi Mangala. So if you have any questions, you can post. Okay, so I'll take up questions as per the forms. So the first question was how to get better opportunities in leadership roles. Okay, so this is the one question which is asked in the Google form. Yeah, Devya. So if you have any question, you can post here. I'll try to answer. So how to get better opportunities in leadership roles is the question which is asked in the Google form. So first and foremost, define your leadership uh, USP. So when we say leadership, what kind of impact you can create to an organization? So that means whether you can support in P&L role or any transformation you can bring to the organization. So that element you will have to clearly state in the resume and LinkedIn. And more than achievements, it's the impact stories which we have to create on our LinkedIn and resume. So if that element is missing, leadership roles we may not be getting. We will be appearing as a job seeker or individual contributor or a mid manager level, wherein organization may not understand that we are a leader. To project ourselves as a leader, we should take some initiatives, proactive steps, and create impact stories, all those things, so that we appear as a leader, first of all. Second thing, we'll have to become searchable. That means, especially on LinkedIn, lot of board of directors, even hiring managers, is also hunting for profiles to onboard to their project and um, companies. So that way, we will have to become searchable by using keywords on Naukri, LinkedIn, on the designation related questions. So accordingly, we become searchable for the leadership roles. And networking with decision makers, networking on LinkedIn is super mandatory, where at least every half an hour, every day half an hour, we'll have to network with the right set of companies. Every MNC companies have their own company pages available. So you'll have to go there and start engaging with them so that you become visible to the potential companies. Let's say you want to work for TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Google, Microsoft, any company. So they must know who you are. So obviously, if you have to be visible, then you will have to post comments on the company pages so that you become visible to the recruiters, because a lot of people are following their company page, and both marketing team, digital marketing team, HR becomes the admin of the company pages. So wherever your target companies are there, start commenting with them so that you get visibility out of it. So that's the first step. So especially in LinkedIn, you should start your newsletter talking about your value offering to the potential domain and industry, so that you will be visible as a thought leader. Like anybody whom we have to um, treat them as a leader, they should be writing some content on the digital platform. But we need not outsource to a PR agency or a blog creation. That is not even required. In LinkedIn, you have the newsletter option available. Now, with the help of ChatGPT or Grok, you can write 1,000 words article about your domain, industry, or subject matter expertise, or even thoughts about the recent happening, so that you appear as a leader first of all because you have an opinion to say. So that way we should appear as a thought leader, and optimizing LinkedIn with keywords is super mandatory so that we are become searchable. So when we are searchable, then only the opportunities will be popping up, because whoever is desperately hiring, they will be conducting desperately interviews faster. So those people, when they are actively hunting or actively interviewing, for those people we should be visible. So keyword element is super mandatory for the resume and LinkedIn. So that way we'll have to get better opportunities on the leadership profile. Yes, Divya Torva. Okay, I am Divya, 44 years old, and I'm looking for a job change for 6 months, applying on LinkedIn and Naukri, but I'm not able to hear from them. I'm currently working as HRBP. Okay, Divya. So that's what I said. Like when we are, see, the job market consists of two markets. One is the advertised market, which is only 20 to 30% of the total job market. So, like you, there are 1,000 people who have seen that the job postings, and they have applied for that particular post. So your profile becomes one among the 500 profiles, where after applying you may not have any control over it, because only if they are calling back, then you will get a opportunity for giving interviews. But the non-advertised market is a headhunting market, where recruiters, talent acquisition people, hiring managers will be hunting profiles. So of course, for HRBP, there are a lot of available options available, wherein any organization, comparing to HR generalists or HR managers, HRBP roles will be higher, because every business unit needs a HRBP. So the opportunities are high, but the visibility becomes challenge. So the job hunt strategy has to get changed. Going back to Instead of going back to advertised job and applying to the jobs, we'll have to be visible by optimizing the resume and LinkedIn, so that we get detected and discovered by the potential MNC recruiters, so that we get chances for the interviews. Now, how to hit the hidden job market? Yes, first and foremost, rebranding, repositioning our resume and LinkedIn, so that we match to the market expectations. So generally, when we go for a job seeking, we go with our old resume, with old responsibilities and all that, wherein the new job market may not need that. Okay, so for the market need, we will have to create a customized content in our resume and LinkedIn, so that we will feel that it is a potential match. So then only the interview call for can happen, and based on the job description, you have to personalize your interview answers. So the customization doesn't have to be on the resume. It customization has to be happen more towards on the interview stages. So for that, the resume and LinkedIn has to get repositioned, because with the old resume we cannot get a new job. That's the first thing and foremost. So you can just send your resume to my mail ID. So I'll just review and let you know what kind of changes needs to be done. I'll just post my email in the chat box. All right. Okay, we have Kevin Joes. Hi, Kevin. So your question is, sir, what about for people with 1 year experience? Should masters be our next goals, since we still fall in the fresher category? Okay. Uh, for 1 year experience, it is very minimal experience, where you could have got an introduction to a industry domain, how it is functions, everything. So you will be a beginner in all kind of aspects, maybe the office environment, maybe the industry, how it is performing, or the domain expectation, everything becomes new. So obviously the hands-on experience needs to get increased. So if you are working in an organization, proactively take some assignments, proactively go and talk to your senior people, colleagues, on what new projects you can take up. So based on more and more projects, hands-on experience only, the elevation can happen. Treatment will be like fresher till 3 years. Like since you are entering into the market, the first treatment will be first 3 years will be obviously will be treated as an entry level or a fresher because you are just beginning the entire process, getting into a corporate career. So obviously, gain a lot of exposure and experience in multi areas, multiple domains. Network with your colleagues whenever you are going for a coffee or a lunch or something. Get along with a lot of your colleagues who are in the same domain and try to understand what they are doing, how proactively you can take some assignments, projects. With that you can gain some experience. Okay, and one more question is, and if I have a lot of knowledge, expanding my resume to 2 pages, is it fine? It is absolutely fine to expand more than 2 pages or 3 pages. The reason why we need relevance to call for an interview. Okay, so if at all I have to call for an interview, I should have a very, very detailed information about you to even consider for that profile. But a lot of these resume writing companies, they give a very wrong notion stating that one page resume is sufficient or more than one page should not be given. It is all for the business needs they are telling. So avoid those kind of information and give a triggering information, spotlight based information where some triggering has to happen for the hiring manager, because only if you and the hiring manager are meeting, there is some probability of talking towards the right synchronization on what you can offer and what the company is expecting. But before meeting, if the resume is giving a less information, then probability of getting interviews is very, very less. So that way, the resume can be more than 2 pages as well. It is not at all a worry. But don't give too many information about your past responsibilities and all that. A customized resume which talks about your highlights and pillars and exposure, that is sufficient. Okay, I'm not able to see your mail ID. Okay, I'll just post in the LinkedIn comment. Okay, it's connect at gskumar.com. I hope you got that email ID. You can share your resume. Okay, Kevin has one more question. As of now, I'm open to work again. Would it be possible to get a new job at this point? So my understanding is after 1 year you are not working. Is my understanding right that you have to answer? Because I don't know what is your current status, whether you are in a job or jobless situation. I don't understand. Maybe you can just clarify. Um, but don't mention open to work because it will appear very desperate to an employer. So always mention what is your expertise and which industry you have that expertise. That has to get captured in the headline. If you mention desperately open to work, nobody will be hiring somebody who's open to work. Okay, so they are hiring expertise and skills. So that skills and expertise you'll have to mention in your LinkedIn headline, so that when they are searching, you will get that visibility from the recruiters. Yeah. So Kevin, mention the headline on what is your skill set, maybe which are all software, which are all industry you worked, all that you can mention, so that a recruiter when they are searching, they can find your profile. Okay. So next question, Vinod. Hi, Vinod. So I have around 12 years of experience in technical talent acquisition with strong hands-on expertise in hiring for SaaS IT services. product based companies. I've been actively job searching for the past 2 months, but unfortunately, I haven't received much response. I'm currently looking for remote, full time, and or hybrid roles. Could you please suggest where there might be potential opportunities? Also, do you think the current market is favorable for TV openings in the IT sector? Very good question, Vinod. Obviously, hiring is happening a lot in terms of talent acquisition and recruitment because um, recruitment and talent acquisition, in my opinion, it's an evergreen role where hiring is bound to happen. But looking at the industry downfall in various sectors, we might have to shift to different domains, different sector where hiring is happening for multiple industries, maybe cybersecurity, data analytics, cloud computing, networking, all those areas. We must have experience in Boolean search, X-ray search, recruitment capability. Then the possibility is higher because all the other people are hiring, but um, the opportunities for senior profiles may get a little lesser because the crowd in this talent acquisition place is more like the supply is more than the demand. So obviously the opportunities which we are targeting, if at all there is 10 position, 100 people are targeting, and especially female candidates are targeting more towards the HR and talent acquisition role. So you have to add little more extra element value proposition in your resume and LinkedIn, stating that you can travel or you can pivot into different industries, and what you call for startups and enterprises and MSMEs, you can hire people, or you should develop the compensation and benefits related structure. So if you go with this kind of value added elements exposure in your resume and LinkedIn, then there is a higher chance. Because going with the old profile with saying that I'm a talent acquisition profiles with the past headhunting knowledge is something which we will be losing in the entire crowd. So only when you are adding value to your resume and LinkedIn with latest exposure and need for a organization, then there are higher possibilities. So mention that you're open to travel or uh, give a lot of value addition in terms of uh, pivotable knowledge, pivotable apart from LinkedIn and Naukri, which are the other platforms you are familiar. So if you are not familiar, start practicing with GitHub, Stack Overflow, hunting, Google X-ray search, all that you'll have to practice, or get a LinkedIn recruiter certificate to add value to your profile. So more and more adding value only will get more and more opportunities. Otherwise, we will be losing from the entire crowd. Yeah. Okay. So next question. Okay, hi Gunjan Desai. Does too many job hops lead to lesser options? Too many job hops, how we are representing in our resume and LinkedIn makes sense. Obviously, that will be a red flag. Um, but whether we have justification in terms of those job jumps is what we'll have to provide. Otherwise, we'll have to give a consolidated picture of our total experience because organization right now is also not looking more into their job jumps. It is more towards what you can contribute to the organization for a longer term. So when you are being onboarded, how long will you stay? Whether 3 years or 5 years, what exactly you can stay? That is the biggest question mark because a lot of hard efforts going into a hiring. The bandwidth which they are spending is time, cost, and effort. So obviously, they want somebody to stay for a very longer time. So that justification has to happen during an interview with lot of proof that why you have left certain organization. Um, with a proper, honest notification about their job jumps. And since the job hiring comes for two reasons, one is for the new project or new assignment, or for a replacement position. So if you are lucky enough, you will get a replacement position where they may not mind the um, jobs jumps to an extent where new hiring is happening. Because in lot of previous experiences, previous candidates which we worked, the hiring happened because of the replacement position. They want somebody to immediately join for that replacement, so they have not concerned more about the job jumps or career break and all that. So if you are lucky enough, replacement position will be a good stuff, wherein the job job hopping, job jumps becomes a least botheration from them. But if at all it is a straightforward hiring for a new assignment, new project, then you'll have to justify things on why the job jumps. Otherwise, we ourselves should not bother too much, because if you are bothering too much, obviously you are triggering the other people to focus on those things. So go with a very very high level energy levels mindsets, that I am selling my consolidated experience, not a company wise experience. So that confidence we'll have to build from our resume and LinkedIn, so that we go confidently during the interview. But our mindset, since it is going to this areas, then obviously you will attract those kind of negative questions which we are not prepared to answer, or we hesitate to answer, kind of thing. So that's the one area we'll have to rework. Okay, hi Ranjita, Vashishta. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of calls from consultants, but for openings, but unfortunately after sending job profile etc they don't come back. This is typically happens when you are chasing the advertised jobs. So that is the reason we'll have to jump to the non-advertised job market, where a lot of keywords has to get optimized within the Naukri and LinkedIn platforms. And because only when you have a chance to speak to the interviewer, you can provide a lot of information about your past. Otherwise, whatever presented in the resume, that is their understanding, and they might misunderstand whatever we want to convey. So that gap is always there. So whenever there is a possibility of networking on LinkedIn, talk to them, make them understand that you want to talk to them. Even if you're applying for jobs, identify the recruiter who has posted the job, and do a direct message with the recruiter, collect the phone number and speak to them, so that you have a chance to explain. Otherwise it's all assumptions, which which is completely different from what we want to convey. So this miscommunication and misunderstanding has to get avoided. So directly speaking to the recruiter and hiring managers will make sense. So otherwise, hunting jobs, chasing the advertised jobs will always be a failure, because that's what the experience in the past. So we'll have to quickly jump into the 80% non-advertised job market, wherein we get headhunted. So the keywords which we are mentioning in Naukri and LinkedIn should be relevant to 2025 and 2026 market expectations, because lot of designation, the name of the designation has changed, the keywords has changed. So when they are hunting, we are not even visible. Okay, so is completely different from what we want to convey. So, so um, labeling wise, the designation wise, keywords are completely changing in the market. So if you are going with the old content, old keywords, old core competencies, old responsibilities, obviously we will not get a job. So that's why repositioning ourselves to the new market job trend, um, new job roles is highly highly essential in this job market, because that's what we are seeing. A typical example will be, I've seen one client who has come with employee engagement experience in the HR space, where she had a very very strong experience. But right now, the keyword which is headhunted for that role is people and culture. So you can see the difference between the keywords used in the market to search these candidates. So obviously, when they are searching for people and culture, and somebody who has mentioned employee engagement is missing out in the entire opportunity. So though you have a good experience, exposure, knowledge, skills, everything, the articulation with regard to resume, LinkedIn, and keywords makes a hell a lot of difference in repositioning ourselves, because uh, the guy who's hunting for your profile may not understand your domain jargons. So that way there is a huge gap. So obviously we'll have to jump into the non-advertised market, making ourselves discoverable to the potential job market availability. Okay, so Imran Shah. Yeah, hi Imran Shah. I have almost 14 months gap on my resume. Due to this, I'm facing challenge. 14 months is not at all a problem, because we have dealt with candidates who have 3 years experience also. So gap wise, the problem is we are not mentioning certain honest information, or how to cover up those information we are not mentioning. So recruiter feels fishy to hire those kind of candidates. So that's a gap. So either you have to mention reason of the gap, or you mention that I was doing a certificate, I was doing a technical project, something other things you have to match. Otherwise you will not appear relevant to the job market, because any employer who wants to hire somebody wants somebody who's very very relevant to their organization, or innovative, or come with the recent skills, because you will have to contribute to an organization's need. So if the organization need, if you are not able to support because of your career break, and you are not relevant in the current job market, then obviously you will not get a call. So match those information in the resume, so that the recruiter, you communicate to the recruiter in a very very right way. Okay, so otherwise miscommunications are bound to happen. So maybe you can share your resume, so that I review and let you know what exactly can work for you. Okay, Ranjita, I have in total 17 plus years of experience and looking for hybrid or remote jobs for international business profile. Okay, so when you are aiming for international jobs or remote jobs, obviously your profile has to be optimized on LinkedIn to attract these kind of opportunities, because that's a place where worldwide opportunities are maximum available. So optimization is highly highly recommended for your profile. And I need to see for which kind of jobs you are targeting. Based on that, we'll have to optimize. Okay, Vinod, could you suggest some lesser known or niche job platforms beyond the traditional job sites? There are some forums called Fishbowl, Site HR. Those kind of forums are actively available, where you have to network with these kind of forums. But the percentage of hit ratio might be little lesser comparing to the traditional job boards like Naukri and LinkedIn, because there you'll have to spend a lot more time to network with people, because without familiarity, without understanding you, they may not provide a job opportunity. So a lot of time might go in terms of networking. And there are a lot of meetup networking is happening every Saturday Sunday. So if you go and log in meetup.com, you will get a lot of offline meetings which can happen in your city. So log in and check whether there is some meeting is happening at your city, so that you network with the real time people, get engaged with those kind of people, all that. So only then that will work. But LinkedIn networking is something every day half an hour you'll have to spend networking with them, so that you get the right opportunities. Okay, Kevin Jones, as a fresher of 1 year experience, removing open to work and add keywords to about section, will that be enough to increase my job chances for a new job? Obviously, that may not be enough because I have not seen your resume or LinkedIn. So you have to share your resume and LinkedIn to understand what is getting stuck, so that I'll suggest you the right way to go for it. So think from the point of view of a recruiter. They will not search somebody who's open to work. They will search Java developer. They will search software testing profile, AI analyst, financial analyst, data analyst. With the designation related keywords only, they will search. So if they are searching whether you are available or not, that's the biggest question mark. So share your LinkedIn and resume to my mail ID, so that I'll review and let you know what is getting stuck. Okay, Maria Patricia. Hi, Maria. I have a query. Even though I have been submitting ATS optimized resumes tailored to specific job descriptions and my previous work experience, I'm still not getting shortlisted or calls from MNCs. My previous experience is into private sector banking. Request your views on this. Yes. So ATS resume, I would tell you this is a completely myth and what you call a bad story which is written by the resume writing companies to make business. Let me be very very upfront, because see, ATS is not a rejecting software, it is a classifying software. Like, let's say somebody is hiring for a BPO and a fresher, there will be 1,000 profiles they will be getting in a day. Let's say I'm starting a posting on a BPO job today morning at around 10 a.m. By the end of the day, I'll get 1,000 profiles across India, because everybody is looking for a job change. So what ATS does is, it will differentiate from locations: Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai. That way it will classify profiles into different buckets for make the recruiter easier to search for the right profiles. And they will bucket into walk-in interviews and share the emails to appear for the interview. That's how the process works. But for the mid-career or a senior level profiles, ATS doesn't work, because each profile comes with a uniqueness in the entire career trajectory. So obviously, just because of ATS resume, you will not get, because after applying to jobs like you, they have 500 profiles who have applied to the same job openings. So you will get lost in the entire crowd, because like you, the other 500 profiles also ATS based resume only. So there is no point in going with the ATS kind of a format. The resume has to address to the needs of non-advertised market, where you should be headhunted. Okay, only when you are headhunted, the possibilities of the interviews are higher, because as I said earlier, the recruiters and employers has to be desperate in hiring a candidate, and only those people will be headhunting who will be arranging for an interview. But if you look at the job postings, you may not even know whether this is an active profile or not, or they have shortlisted a candidate or not. There are a lot of blind spots. So with this information, even though when it is ATS resume, even though you have a good experience and exposure, certification, and everything, you are losing in the job market just because your job hunt strategy is wrong. Okay. So obviously the preparation should be more towards the non-advertised job market. Maybe you can share your resume and LinkedIn with me in the my mail ID connect@gskumar.com, so that I'll review and let you know what exactly needs to be done. Okay, Gunjan Desai, how do we check the company culture? There are times we get into a toxic workplace, make it difficult to sustain, and then again the same search cycle. Toxic workplace is something cannot be judged by digital platforms like LinkedIn, Naukri, or any other platforms, because it is comes with the how we are engaging with people when we are joining in the company. So we don't have any clue with regard to the culture and all that. But of course, You get some clues in the Glassdoor or Fishbowl or Ambition Box, those kind of review platforms. You can cross check, but that is only 10% to 20%, I would say, because most of the people, when they go for Ambition Box and Glassdoor and all that, it's the frustrated candidates who are not convinced with the salary, promotion, all that. They will leave the frustration there. So judgment may be very very wrong, but what I would suggest is, when you join an organization, everything, you are losing in the job market just because when you are joining in an organization, first 3 months you should spend time with your colleagues, seniors and other people, wherein you understand them on a personal level, because most of the jobs now requires intraconnect communication or email communication, and we rarely meet people. So when the relationship is not built, obviously you will get a lot of escalations, pressure and stress in the entire workplace. So to avoid the cultural bias and all that, we need to be proactively meeting the clients or colleagues and other people, proactively understand them. That's a core element which we have to spend time in an organization when we are joining. So if that element is missing, obviously the culture wise we might assume certain things or something. But if definitely if there is a politics and all that, then we'll have to relook into our option. But from an outsider perspective, looking into culture is something, a gap which we can find, where we cannot be fullest we cannot get a fullest information about the work culture. All right. So, hi Harish Khanna. My ultimate aim is to reach 1 crore per annum salary. I'm having two options in my mind to reach 1 crore per annum. One is automation testing, and one is DevOps. So, could you please suggest me which option among DevOps and automation testing takes less time to reach 1 crore per annum salary? Yeah, I think you have given this question in the Google form as well. Um, Wherein I made a research on these two domains. What I found out, I'll tell you. Um, so if you are comfortable with infra, cloud, and scripting and all that, DevOps will be a right option. Or if you have a good structure in terms of QA thinking, quality assurance thinking, or logic, automation logic, all that. If you are familiar and strong, those then you have to stick into the automation part of it, because that logic is very very important. But you'll have to upgrade to STET, like Python, API, CI/CD testing, all that you'll have to upgrade if you have to go into the automation testing model and grow in the higher salary. So if that is the option you have, then you can move on to automation testing. But if you are comfortable, if you feel comfortable in infra, cloud, and scripting and all that, moving to DevOps is better, because as per the market demand, DevOps is performing higher in terms of growth, salary, and the industry is also implementing a lot of cloud and infra related things. So when the industries and business is demanding for these kind of technology and infrastructure, they will be hiring somebody who's expert in DevOps and other things. But automation testing, you have I will not say low career, but I will say a stable career you will get. Okay, step by step. Once in 3 years, or 2 years, you will get. Hi Harish Khanna. My ultimate aim is. So you will get that options in a very, very stable phase. So since you are saying that I have to go into a 1 crore per annum kind of salary, it is better to go to DevOps if you are very, very structured and interest towards cloud scripting and infra, those kind of areas. I think that would be better comparing to automation testing. Am I on mute? Somebody is saying I'm on mute. If you are able to hear, type yes in the comment box so that I understand I'm not on mute. Can you hear me? Type yes in the comment box. Okay, type yes in the comment box if you are hearing me. I'm not sure. Yes. Okay, fine. Thanks. So next question I'll take up. Okay, Hari Srinivas, I'm HR with Analytics come HR Business Analytics. I'm trying to get a job in Workday or Success Factor, but not able to get a development job. Any tips, please? I think analytics wise, it's a good career to get into. Um, Workday or success factor. So Workday or success factor implementation is based on company's need. If they are implementing success factor and Workday, then you have a chance. Otherwise, the opportunities are less, right? So obviously, the number of opportunities, if you look at it, is for the analytics. HR analytics will be more because there are a lot of companies who are implementing business analytics and data analytics. So number of opportunities wise, you will have more opportunities in HR analytics, but success factors and Workday is depending on whether the organization has implemented that technology or not. So based on that, you will have those kind of an opportunity. So obviously, you'll have to increase your knowledge with advanced Excel, Power BI, those kind of things, so that you get into those kind of spaces. So again, Vinod, what is the best way to connect directly with decision makers on social media regarding job opportunities? So first thing, we'll have to create our own positioning on where we are skilled at. Okay, what is our best skill? I would suggest instead of chasing the decision makers, you have to make them come to your profile. So that means post content on LinkedIn on a daily basis about your subject matter expertise, or talk about the job market, your opinion about job market. In LinkedIn, if you could see, there are a lot of in the right side you can see trends wherein people decision makers are hanging around and telling their opinion. So there you start posting comments so that you are visible to the decision makers, because those people are the only people who are hanging around on the LinkedIn trends, news, opinions, all that. So if you start commenting on your opinion, you will be highly visible to the decision makers. And when you are commenting, you will be visible to the decision makers. So there are high chances that they will open your LinkedIn profile as well. So that way, start contributing in the uh, trends trends news in the LinkedIn section, which will be available on your right side. Okay, again, we know what additional skills should talent acquisition professionals develop to remain competitive and increase their chances of finding a job in the job market. So obviously, talent acquisition people should be available for traveling, because a lot of hiring needs are traveling, be it a campus hiring or IT hiring. You cannot sit and work all the time in the office. You should be someone who should be very very proactive and getting people where the crowd is. So that way, give some uniqueness in terms of new, telling them new platforms on whatever available. Like there is one platform called Cut Short. That way, in the interview, you have to tell some new things to the hiring manager, that I know how to work in Cut Short, how to get profiles from X-ray search, how to find profiles from Instagram and Facebook using X-ray search. All that extra you have to tell. Second thing is, you have to start developing your own database, uh, because we cannot depend only on LinkedIn Naukri all the time to work towards uh, uh, poaching candidates every single time. So you should develop your own pool. If you don't have a pool, you don't know when the candidates notice period are there, when they are available, when they are not available, everything. So whatever you have started doing as a fresher, still if you are doing, then there is no point. So if you have about 10 years, 12 years experience, you should have developed your own pool of candidates with maybe some Google form you have to start creating, and then start collecting databases from the market, so that during interview you are very, very confident that I have 5,000 candidate database who are immediate joiners in Java or .NET or testing, whatever. That makes very outstanding candidate comparing to the rest of candidate, because all the rest of candidates will come with the knowledge, okay, I know X-ray search, I know LinkedIn, the same story again and again they'll tell. But if you go with an idea that I have a huge database of candidates, and I know this particular site will be offering immediate joiners, that will be an edge over the other candidates where they will select you. Second thing is obviously the time factor. You'll have to be very flexible with the time zones. US time zone, UK zone, Australian zone are available to travel. These are the barriers for the other people where you'll have to tell I'm ready to work with. So if that is the kind of USP which we are building, then there are high chances, because talent acquisition HR roles is highly in demand, because the the layoff is happening for IT industries but not for other industries. Even for AI to recruit, I have to know who is best in AI, what are the keywords to use to recruit an AI guy, all that I should know. So brush up those keywords and practice doing a Boolean search or AI search by looking at the job posting of a company. Because if you, let's say you are aiming at one company, look at the job postings and try to search by yourself on LinkedIn and Naukri or Google whether you are able to find those candidates. That will become a practice for you to understand whether you are able to search their profiles or not. So during an interview, you can tell, okay, I have searched this kind of job posting. Now these are the profiles which is available. So that will be like very surprise to them that you are already catching up their need. So that becomes an edge over other people, rather than going with the same, talent acquisition, LinkedIn, X-ray, repeated things. We may not make a differentiation in entire position. So you'll have to go with some extra value addition, so that we'll get a better chance comparing to the other people. Hope that makes sense. Okay, Kevin Jones, I have domain knowledge in software, data engineering, and cybersecurity. I have also done certain certifications in the respective domains. Which domain can I target? My previous experience was in data engineering. Data engineering it's a high demand profile, but you'll have to showcase what you can bring it to the table, because certifications alone may not make sense. Do you have a hands-on experience in dealing with a project? That's what I will be interested as a hiring manager. So showcase whatever projects done related to data engineering that you have to showcase on resume and LinkedIn, that this is the project I have worked. Okay, certification is not something which I'll be looking upon to recruit you, because without hands-on experience, I will not recruit even if you have 100 certificates. So project those projects which you have dealt in data engineering, where you justify, I have done this for 3 months, 6 months, and all that, so that the without your presence, your resume and LinkedIn should talk about your projects on what you have done, so that I have a first-hand experience of your implementation experience before even meeting. So once I meet, I will have 50% confidence, because you have already demonstrated the project need in the LinkedIn and resume. So the higher chances you will get when we are meeting. So those projection with a demonstration is required on LinkedIn and resume. Okay, again, Divya. So, what will be your say for HRBP, and how can how can I gain knowledge on global HRBP? So, look at some job postings of global HRBP in IAM jobs and LinkedIn to understand what is the market demand, and filter industry wise. Every industry's global HRBP, the need is different. So only when you understand the need, you will be in a position to rework on your profile. So as I said earlier, you will have to supply to the demand of what market needs. So based on those responsibilities, try and see where is the gap. If they mention certain software, certain functional area, certain soft skills, if you don't have, start building that. Only then you can aim at that opportunities, right? So understand that thing. Then for each industry, how they are looking for, e-commerce industry will be looking for something, telecom industry will be looking for something. So the differentiation will be there in each expectation. So based on what background, what industry you belong to, and which industry you want to pivot, understand that industry first. There is one beautiful site called ibef.org. Okay, so this site will give you an understanding of which are all the industries which they are performing, are growing, or foreign direct investments are coming. All those details will be there. It is a government site where they are publishing latest information about every industry. So before going to an interview, try and log into this particular platform and see how is the industry is performing. Now, based on that, try to give information on what exactly they are looking for. Accordingly, we have to customize the offer. The major problem with many people is we go with old responsibilities and target a new job, which will not happen. Okay. So try to see what exactly the organizations are looking for, especially imjobs.com. So if you open this site and look for opportunities, you will get a clear idea how they are hiring, what is the kind of designations they are using, because it's all premium portal which is used by a lot of recruiters beyond LinkedIn. Okay, so these portals are used by direct hiring manager and direct MNC recruiter, not staffing firms. So you will get a real picture of the job description. So try to understand the job description first and try to see where is the gap in the resume at LinkedIn, and try to rework on the resume where the upskilling is required, other value proposition is required. All that you'll have to rework so that you will get the right opportunities. I'm not getting your question, Divya. Please, what is that word? I'm not getting. Can you retype it? So it's called imjobs.com. Okay, I'll go with the other questions which is posted on Google Form. So there is a question why the recruiters expect too much experience from freshers despite of knowledge and projects. Also for this reason, it can't be reached to interview level itself. Too much of expectation is not from the recruiters, but the upskilling and knowledge is something very less from the fresher, where they demand more for a job. So when we cross the MCA, MPA, or any other things, immediately we start looking at jobs with 4 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, which cannot happen. So each industry will have their own need of expectation from a fresher, where you cannot contribute from the day one. So obviously you'll have to try and understand what exactly you can bring it to the table, because projects and internships may not be sufficient, because the corporate have understood now that the internships and projects is something is not being mentored properly, or not having a hands-on experience. So try to do a lot of freelancing projects with your own circle, with business people, and try to add those experience in your resume, so that you have, if you're doing some freelance projects, that will give you a lot of work experience dealing with professionalism, emailing, projects, and all things, which you can talk about it during an interview. Otherwise, if you go without any experience, you don't have anything to talk about. Okay, so obviously, if you don't talk anything, they will know for sure that you have not done anything. So if you have to talk during an interview, you should have done something in the past. So when you are in the college itself, start doing a lot of gig projects, freelance projects, small activities within your circle, so that that experience you can add it in your resume. Don't run behind stipend and other things. Rather, look for opportunities to learn, work, and treat that as a separate project for yourself. Work for 1 month or 3 months, you will get a lot of experience. Because with that experience only, you can speak during an interview. Otherwise, you don't have anything to talk. So that element you'll have to working on it. Please, can you repeat the website? Which website? Maybe this website, ibef.org. Okay. So when you're looking on LinkedIn, you'll have to cross check your LinkedIn social selling index score. So that also I'll put it here. So when you type social selling index, you will get this link. I'll put it here. So based on this score only, you will be popping up during a discovery in the platforms. Okay, I'm sharing here. So if you open LinkedIn and check this link, you will get a score. If you are able to check, type your score here. If it is less than 70, you will have to rework on it. Okay. So why your LinkedIn is not being considered even after applying to 100 jobs? The reason can be this as well, because your score on LinkedIn is very less. If anybody is checking, put their score on the LinkedIn comment section. Okay. So I'll go to the next question. Okay, there is one more question which says on I'm on maternity leave and seeing project and manager changed without prior intimation. Move to a project which is in sustainable mode. All this despite being the best performer, but unfortunately, four manager changes. Manager left organization in past 5 months. Okay, so as per Maternity Act, the companies should supposed to intimate you on what exactly is happening. Um, there's something called Maternity Benefit Act. So that you can just read it out and understand what are the supporting elements you have in this space. So based on that, you can take action. But as per law, the discriminatory things is not at all allowed. So you can be rest assured that discrimination is not at all possible. You can raise a concern with HR with a couple of steps. One can be you can document everything like emails and conversation. You can document and everything so that when you're talking, you will have a proof to showcase, or at least request a meeting with the HR or the MD who is part of this particular process, and talk to them with performance and transparency issues related to this, because if five managers are leaving there is some problem, and have a detailed sitting with them and find a fair rearrangement or projects for your kind of thing, because unless you are talking, the transparency cannot be taken via email. So there will be a lot of assumption game which will be running behind. So it's better you raise this issue with the HR who is part of this particular domain and discuss in detail on what exactly is the case. Then you can take a action. But if you are not at all convinced with the entire process, you have to plan for an exit, because there is no reason that you have to sit there with all these issues. So look for upgrading your resume and LinkedIn, and then move to the next organization. That's the one final solution. But before that, I would recommend you to talk with the HR manager to see whether some misunderstanding is there in both ends. So if that is sorted out, then you can take your own decision. Moving on to the next question. Okay, do one require an MBA degree to climb ladder in corporate even after having 17 years? Not at all required, but certain companies will have some mandatory rules that he has to come with this degree or specification so that he can handle other professionals in the same cadre. Because when you are going 15 years and above, obviously you will be meeting somebody at a similar level with master's degree or other degrees as well. So you should not feel inferior handling them at a colleague's level or a junior level. So obviously, when we are in bachelors and have to deal with master's degree people, there is some conflict of interest might happen, because they could have seen that you are coming from a bachelor's degree. So for that reason you might have to do, and for second reason some companies will have mandatory requirement. But otherwise there is no rule that without MBA you cannot climb a ladder, because a lot of CXO roles doesn't have an MBA to get into those kind of roles. It is about how you what P&L support you can give, what impact you can create with your past experience. That matters a lot comparing to degree. So degree can be one justification of how you can grow into corporate leader. But a lot of this edtech companies who are doing this certification selling and all that, they will push you to do this, because they will try to do a business with you in terms of these kind of things that companies are looking for. Companies never look for specific MBAs and all that unless it is very very specifically mentioned. Even it is mentioned, but during your contribution during interview, if you're convincing those people, then it is well and good that they can onboard. So concluding remarks is, it is not at all mandatory to get into a corporate leader without MBA. So I'm getting scores 62, 54. Yes, these are all good, but aim at a benchmark of 70, so that you communicate to LinkedIn that you are an active job seeker or active business person in this domain. So consistency, maintaining consistency for 70 is really, really required. So spend at least half an hour, 1 hour on engaging with other people, all that, so that you get that opportunities. Okay, we know which is considered a higher priority in the current job market, practical experience or formal education or certificate. I would say everything, but relevance makes most important. If you have everything and there is no relevance to the job market need, then what is the point? Okay, let's say you have 10 years of experience in typing. Okay, typewriting degree, typewriting certificate, typewriting formal education, everything you have. But is there a relevance? Is there a need from the market? No. So all these elements has to combine with the relevancy in the job market on what they need. But as job seekers, we don't do that research. We go with our own resume and think that we need a job for that, which has to be reversed. So first thing, look for what opportunities are available. What is there available in IM jobs, LinkedIn jobs, and these are the major platforms. So understand where is the gap, where you we have to scale up. Is there a resonance towards whatever the skills we have is contributing to an organization or not? That realization we should do before even getting into a job. But if you are going with old resume, LinkedIn, and keep applying in the old methods, then obviously we'll start complaining the job market that markets are not performing. There are a lot of tech layoffs and other things. We still keep complaining, where you are living in a different island altogether, because a lot of job seekers are getting jobs. It's not that everybody are not in job, right? Everybody are upskilling themselves to getting into a different pivotable job opportunities. So see the possibility of pivoting in the HR itself. Can you contribute to in a different role, or can you pivot into a different domain altogether where the need is there? So that area will have to do a reverse thinking. Realization has to happen so that we pivot. Otherwise, going with the old, so that you get that opportunities. Going with the old resume, old content, and expecting new job is something not practical. Okay, so this is also live on YouTube. So if you want to watch that, um, watch our conversation, you can watch that. I'll share you the YouTube link in the comment section, so that when you have a leisure time, you can watch that. Otherwise, you can post your other questions in the platform. I'll stay till 10, 12:30, so that we'll end this conversation. Okay, this is a LinkedIn live. We have also done a lot of LinkedIn live in the past, HR roundtable, where there are a lot of useful discussions has happened with the CHROs, HR managers, HR directors, and all that. You can watch those conversation itself, which will have a huge in-depth conversation. Practical input has been given. That way, you'll get a lot of insights towards it. So this live link also you can watch at your leisure time, so that you understand what we've spoken in the past. So I'll stay till 12:30. So if you have any questions, you can post. Otherwise, we are good. And you can share your resume to connect at gskumar.com. And if you want to have one-to-one conversation uh, with your own job hunt tactics and all that, you can book a one-to-one call by scanning this link. Okay, Kevin, I have shared my resume and LinkedIn with you on your email. Please do connect with me for the same at your convenience. Yeah, maybe in the evening I'll try to send the requirements. Till that I have some work, so I'll just do that. Yeah, yeah, Divya. So I'll just look into it, and if you need a one-to-one conversation with me, you can book this link so that I'll try to understand the depth of the problem and try to address the needs. So if there is no questions, we can end the live stream. This is live both on YouTube and LinkedIn, all that. So you can watch at your leisure time. Let me see any other questions being asked. Okay, there is one question. How can I reposition my job profile in IT or in banking? So the relevant certification skills, core competencies has to match to this kind of a roles. So I need to see the resume on what exactly is the background of it. Has posted this question. Maybe share your resume to my LinkedIn or DM me or send your resume so that I'll get the view of it. And if you want to get into a IT or banking role, you need to have a relevant certificate first of all, and gain some practical exposure by at least working for 3 months or 6 months in an organization relevant to that industry and project, so that you can speak about it during an interview. Okay, Maria, I have 3.3 years of experience, and in some interviews I have attended, I noticed that I don't meet all the listed skill requirements. Do I need to know every skill? Um, do I need to know every skill mentioned in the job description? And how can I convince the interviewer that I'm capable of learning new skills on the job? Good question. Um, so 3.3 years experience is okay, but how is the relevancy is what they will be looking at. And no organization wants to hire where they are in the learning process. You'll have to demonstrate what the organization wants. So try to give interviews to the lower level position so that you understand whether that is enough or not. Or after reviewing 10 interviews, see where is the gap. If the gap is there, then you'll have to scale up to the need of the organization, because when you're attending interview, there are 10 other people are attending the same interview. So the employer will be doing a comparison on who is better, correct? Because when you're attending interview, you are not the only person who is attending interview. So it might be the reason of comparison with the other candidates where there is some betterment comparing to the resume and LinkedIn. So that element can be one of the challenges which might be there. Even though when you are ready to learn, the organization may have a better candidate to opt for. Okay, who's matching to their requirements and skills. So why they should come to somebody who's in the process of learning? So that's why you'll have to think about it and see where is the gap and try to scale up either certification or IT skills or soft skills. Whatever is lagging, you'll have to build so that there is opportunity to get into a interview. Okay, Harish Khanna, choosing DevOps is fine, but without experience, my question is how do I sustain in DevOps field? I have experience in manual testing only. Fine, then pivot into certifications, projects, take small projects with startups and enterprises to build your profile. That is how, like a fresher, we have to do, like go to a lot of network meeting where startups and entrepreneurs will be coming, and you proactively tell them, I can do this kind of a project work for you, so that you can add those projects in your resume. So without doing any project, if you're going for an interview, you cannot even pivot. So for next 6 months to 1 year, do a lot of hands-on projects in DevOps space, by networking with people, taking up practical projects, all that. Join a lot of LinkedIn groups where DevOps community is there, because that's where they will engage and post their project, hire people, hire interns, all that. So talk to them and see whether you can contribute to their projects. So after doing that project, you bring that to LinkedIn and the resume stating that I have hands-on projects. And after that, try to attend interviews. See whether you're able to answer their questions. So that's an experiment iteration which you have to do at least for 6 months to 1 year, so that you realize whether you can contribute to an organization needs projects. Otherwise, guessing game will not work, right? So when you are a manual tester, you're not starting from day one. You could have done certification, you could have done some projects, and somebody could have trained you on certain things. Then you become a manual tester. Now think reverse. I mean, rework, iterate on the same process, getting into a pivotable role when you have to do same things. So now that you are safe in a job, it is best to test during weekends, Saturday, Sundays, spend some time on gig projects, working on LinkedIn networking, DevOps community networking, all that. You have to network. Find actively projects. Work for them for a very nominal project or free of cost, just to add portfolio for your resume and LinkedIn. Then try to, if you are convinced with that project experience, go and attend interview. So then you will realize whether I can contribute to DevOps project or not. So that it's a practical element which you have to test in the market, so that you feel relevance to the organization. Otherwise, it's a guessing game where you're not moving to any of these spaces. Okay, what's the best way to shift from a talent acquisition role to a different career path or a function? Talent acquisition role, understand what is your transferable skills, like whatever experience, skills you have gained from talent acquisition, for which role that will be most profitable. Let's say you are in a sales role and you are doing a lot of telecalling and all that. Now what is your transferable skills? It's the calling the clients. Now the calling the clients can be used for recruiter jobs as well. Correct. So counselor and recruiter will be doing a calling kind of a job, but it is not the same calling sales jobs which you are doing in the sales job. It is a different method. So but calling remains the same. So likewise, in talent acquisition, identify which are all the transferable skills which you can utilize for a new job, and pivot to that role which will be useful for getting into a pivotable job. That will work better comparing to going to a job role which you have zero experience, zero exposure, and all that. So pivoting should happen with the identical transferable skills, so that it's little more easy comparing to the earlier roles. So that way we'll have to pivot. All right, I have another 7 minutes. I'll be closing this by 12:30. So if you have any final questions, you can post here. Otherwise, we are good. Okay, I'm showing this TalkMat code one more time for just you to book a one-to-one call, so that you can book one-to-one, and then let me know what is the in-depth issue which you are facing, so that we can address that. Because right now the job market is completely different and working towards a different model altogether. So the old job search method, job hunt method, the resume process, LinkedIn process may not work. By this time, you could have realized that the old methodologies are not at all working. So discuss with me, because I'm always in the hiring market and talent acquisition market, and discussing with a lot of HR managers day in day out. So once you give me your pain points, I'll be in a position to address this. So book a one-to-one call, so that we'll discuss in depth and then try to address those issues. Okay. So if there is no questions, we can wind up this session. Thanks for joining live session. If you need more session, you can comment on the LinkedIn that we would like to have more sessions. So based on the number of comments, if there is a need, we will try to do one more LinkedIn live sessions in the coming weekends, so that it will be useful for many of the audience. Okay. So I hope there is no questions. So all the very best. So thank you so much for joining the session and being very actively participating in this LinkedIn live. We'll see you in the next live session. If you have any questions, you can just post that in the comment section, or book a one-to-one call, so that we'll work towards that. Still, I'm a bit confused whether to go for automation testing or DevOps. Okay, book a one-to-one consultation, so that I understand your background and accordingly give you suggestions. Harish, thank you so much for joining, and I'm ending up this session. If you have any questions, you can post in the comment section. So I will share the answers in the comment section as well. All right. So all the very best, and looking